My face in the mirror isn't wrinkled or drawn. My house isn't dirty. The cobwebs are gone. My garden looks lovely, and so does my lawn. I think I might never put my glasses on again. It didn't take me long to figure out why I was given an opportunity to preach this weekend. 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, my eyesight was pretty bad. I now have 20/20 driving vision. I'm still having a little trouble getting used to notes and things closer. But I can tell you that the change that happened to me is astounding. And I don't think that it probably was minor in relationship to the experience of the blind man in today's gospel. But with my clarity of vision, now I am confronted with this Sunday's gospel. Will I use my clarity of vision from God, that God has given me, or will I keep my old blind spots? You and I, we have been called to use the spiritual sight that God has given us. St. Paul used these words to exhort the Ephesians to use that. He said, "Awake, O sleeper, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." Christ has given us light. He has given us clarity to see how we must act. And He has given us the church to exhort us to act with that clarity 365 days of the year. So on this fourth Sunday of Lent, we are again being called. Awake, O sleeper, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. The light that we receive during Lent and throughout the year is discussed in today's gospel through two people, actually three, I guess. The blind man shares some of the insights, and then his parents share some of the insights with the Pharisees. Now, there's a similar story of a blind man receiving sight in Mark's gospel. In today's gospel, John has Jesus proclaiming this message a little more subtly. But in Mark's gospel, he starts right out, he has Jesus start out with, "What do you want me to do for you?" These two gospel stories and last week's story of the woman at the well want us to know that asking for a change, the cure, is always the easy part, and getting the cure is always the easy part. The hard part for us is looking beyond the physical miracles that are happening in our lives. What Jesus does is He performs a physical miracle to get our attention. And then once He has our attention, He invites us to the truly life-changing experience. Now, last week, Jesus revealed to the woman at the well that He knew everything about her past life. When she became astonished and curious about that, that is when Jesus gave her the same opportunity that He is giving the blind man this Sunday. And in both instances, it took some questioning for the woman at the well and for the blind man today to begin to see the light that Jesus was really offering. So these Gospels are posing a discipleship question that faces each one of us every day. And I know that you and I have already answered the call. I'm not questioning that. We answered as the blind man did and the woman at the well did. In addition, I know that we have already made commitments to follow Jesus, specifically in different ways. However, there is still a problem, it seems, for us human beings, because we too easily forget that our conversion comes with a cost. And one reason we forget that it comes with a cost is there are so many other things that vie for our attention. Our work does, our family, our vacations, our education, our dining out, the TV programs that are our favorites, and texting, and of course now the basketball games. So the list of things goes on that could cause us blind spots. And none of these things are bad of and by themselves, are they? Nevertheless, we cannot allow any one of them to become a blind spot that might keep us from helping to build the kingdom of God in the way that God has called us personally to do it. Jesus gave us his church to remind us daily and weekly of the real miracles that he is offering, and that is the opportunity to be with our God for eternity. But that comes at a cost. And we are reminded, not just in Lent, but throughout the year, to arise from our sleep and continue walking toward that light of salvation. And today, we are being reminded of the blindnesses that often stop us from seeing clearly the real path to salvation. In the first reading, we had both Samuel and Jesse, who could not see clearly whom it was that God wanted Samuel to anoint with the oil to make the new king of Israel. And so they began calling the sons one at a time. And God, nope, that's not. And they thought surely one of these 7 would be the one that God was calling to be the new king of Israel. And when the 7 had all been presented, Samuel turned to Jesse and asked him, "Are these all of your sons?" "Oh no, I have a younger one who's out tending the sheep." And so neither Jesse nor Samuel were looking through the eyes of God at what he was expecting. Neither considered the youngest, the shepherd, to be the one. How easy it is for us human beings to oversee the youngest people amongst us, or somebody we don't look past their good looks or their power or their money or the fun times that they give us or athletic skills. Again, there are so many things that can cause us to have blind spots. All of these can easily distract us away from our call to discipleship. There are spiritual blindnesses in our lives. The Pharisees had both the blind man and his parents to help open their eyes to the light that Jesus was offering. But they were blinded to salvation's journey by believing that all they needed was to pray and tithe and observe the rituals. Is that happening to any of us? Do we come here to pray and to tithe and observe the rituals only? I hope not. I hope that we are coming here and asking to be cured of our spiritual blindness so that we can love more deeply in our marriages, in our parenting, our single lives, our work and study habits, and in the ways that we obey our teachers and the traffic laws. And again, the list goes on. It's so easy to be a practicing Christian, to have blind spots in these and other areas. The question is, are we trying to get clarity of vision in all areas of our lives? Or are we hanging on to some blind spots so that we will not feel obligated to answer God's call to help build his kingdom in some particular way? You and I should never be surprised when we come here and are reminded of our call to wake up and to be proactive in building the kingdom of God, regardless of the cost to us. Moreover, we should never be surprised when God gives us the graces, the miracle graces, to carry out those things that he is asking us to do. Do not turn away from those graces. Do not be afraid to ask God to take away blindnesses that we might have, like greed or self-centeredness or anger, hatred, prejudice, jealousy, addictions, anything that can cause a hardening of our hearts. In addition, remember our religious practices and frequenting the sacraments, that our prayer life, our tithing, they must not be allowed to become blind spots that cause us to forget about reducing the pain in our family, our workplace, and the world in general. God is giving us a wake-up call to act with all the love we can in everything that we do. That is the price of our discipleship. For we are called to perform miracles of love on our parents and our children, our teachers, our supervisors, anyone that is marginalized. We know, and we were told again today, that being blind is not a sin. Holding on to the blind spots to avoid full discipleship is a sin.